Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my video. So you guys, the best Autododge / counter tier list in Shindo Life. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like for subscribe more. Let's get right to the video, guys. Now before starting the video, I'm going to say that I did not include iframes in this, so things like Minakami 3rd will not be on this list because they're not really auto dodges, they're just iframe moves. I also did not include mode iframes, so things like Minakaze, E-spec, things like Kenichi passive ability, stuff like that wasn't included just to make the list more simple and more accessible to people. Alright, so for this tier list, guys, I went back to S, A, B, C, D, F because I feel like this is going to be better for the actual auto dodges. Also included the photo of every single auto dodge instead of the bloodline name, so if you guys want to know the bloodline name, just watch the video and watch when I put it in. I'll say what bloodline it comes from. Alright, so Akuma's auto dodge is actually going to be in a solid B tier. Now I feel like Akuma's auto dodge is a solid B tier auto dodge simply because it does not last as long as the other auto dodges in the game that are actually, the longer the auto dodge, usually the better if you could actually use moves during it. Something like Bankai's auto dodge is a lot better than Akuma's, even though it teleports you back. Overall, Akuma's auto dodge is actually extremely underrated. It actually is very, very good, and for that reason, it's going to be going into the B tier. A Zimseko counter is actually going to A tier. I feel like a Zimseko counter is very good for setting up your own combos when people are attacking you and things like that. When it comes to a Zimseko counter, it's very good for just being a counter. It's very good for setting up your own combos. It's very good for just dealing a little bit of damage to them when they actually want to attack you. Now, Bankai Inferno's auto dodge is obviously going to be into S rank. This has a 4-second cooldown, guys, so you can pretty much just spam this infinitely because a 4-second cooldown is not long enough to be any substantial amount of time where you won't be actually able to use this. Now, if you guys don't know what this ability is, it basically you dash forward, you leave a clone behind you, and you teleport back to it when you use the ability. And yes, as I said before, it is on a 4-second cooldown. Bankai auto dodge is going to be going to currently to the top of A tier. Overall, Bankai auto dodge is extremely good because it does last quite a long time, and I'm pretty sure the duration is going to be increased soon, but it does last a long time when it comes to the auto dodge. And other things about the auto dodge is just that you can use moves during it, which makes it actually better than some of the other ones, even if there's not any special effects to it. Boromaki's second is actually going to the C tier. Boromaki's second ability is a decent auto dodge / counter. It is on the auto dodge / counter global cooldown, and overall it's just a decent ability. It's not as good as Ryan Ren's, I believe, because Ryan Ren's, even though you can teleport people, even though it is better than Ryan Ren's ability, when it comes to the actual ability, I feel like Ryan Ren's is better because Ryan Ren's lasts longer. Dangan is going to go to the bottom of B tier. Dangan is pretty much just a Zimseko's auto dodge, but you can't use moves during it. Sabru is going to go to D tier. Overall, Sabru's counter is not very good when it comes to the other counters of the game, and Sabru's counter can actually be very easily avoided if you're not actually close to them. It's pretty much just a Zimseko's counter, but significantly worse. Ryuseko auto dodge is literally the same as Bankai's, but it covers your screen in yellow, and I don't really like that, so I'm going to putting it below Bankai. Eternal counter is actually going to the top of C tier. Overall, Eternal counter can be useful in a lot of different situations, but when it comes to the ability, it takes 40k chi, which is a massive amount of chi for a counter ability, but it is quite good of an ability, which is why it's going to be in C tier. Ghost Karashi is actually going to the bottom of S tier. Ghost Karashi's auto dodge is actually a motorcycle ability. It gives you a very, 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 very long chance to actually, avoid damage. I'm pretty sure it's the longest lasting auto dodge in the game right now. And actually, when you hit someone, it stuns them. So it's pretty much just Riser Akuma's auto dodge, but better right now. Goda Jokai is actually going to B tier, and normal Jokai is actually going below that because it does less damage. Overall, these abilities, the rotations are very good for avoiding damage, and they actually can be useful if the other person isn't running, abilities that sequence with one another, because you cannot use this during when someone's comboing you. You can only use it when there's a gap. So this ability can be quite good, but most of the time, the ones above it will actually perform better. Satori Ren's auto dodge is going to the top of S tier. Overall, Satori Ren's auto dodge is actually significantly better than the rest of the game right now because it can be equipped to element slots, and I'm sure you guys know just how busted that is. I made a video over it. If you guys haven't watched it yet, go watch it. Why Satori Ren is broken, and this ability is going to be the main reason why. Light Jokai counter is actually going to S tier, probably honestly above Ghost Karashi and below Bankai Inferno. When it comes to Light Jokai, it does not have any add-lag on the ability, so it can actually start your combos, but the main bad side of this ability is that the actual ability only lasts for like a second, so you have to time it correctly. But if you time it correctly, you can actually counter other counters, and you can pretty much counter anything in the game with Light Jokai. It also is extremely good for setting up your combos. Now, the Sabru ability is pretty much just Golden Jokai rotation but reskinned. Now, the clone ability is actually going into the F tier. I feel like the hand sides are actually not very good. There's a reason why you almost never see someone using this ability anymore. It's because it has 3 hand sides, only summons 2 clones, and the counter does not last that long. So when it comes to stability, it has been ultra mega nerfed to the point where it is pretty much very, very bad now. Vine auto dodge is actually going to S tier at the very bottom. Now, it's going to be going to the very bottom of S tier because I feel like it doesn't have the utility of the ones above it, but it just has the raw time of the actual auto dodge. When it comes to Vine auto dodge, it just lasts so long. It is very, very good and very, very busted. Ryan Akuma's counter has to be good to the top of C tier. It's not bad, but it's not good. It pretty much is just a small stun, small damage ability. Ryan Ren's counter slash auto dodge that should be going to the bottom of A tier. When it comes to this ability, it actually is very good because you can actually double click on people and it will do twice the amount of damage to actually stun them. And switching places is actually very good a lot of different times because switching places will mess up your opponent and things like that. And overall, it just gives you time to do things that you need to do, like charge chi, you know, do whatever. And it does last quite a while. Shiver counter is actually good to the top of C tier. It's pretty much just a better Ryan counter. Red Goku's is actually going to the probably honestly the top of D. Overall, Red Goku's is actually the Preta Spirit. I'm sorry if I said it wrong, but it's actually the Preta Spirit, which actually gives you chi back. And pretty much is just a much worse Red Shiki counter. Red Shiki counter is actually going to the probably in A tier. I'm going to be putting it above a Zim Senko and below Dio Senko. It actually is a 5-second lasting counter that actually can refill your entire chi bar if you time it correctly when the opponent uses an ability. Riser Kuma Auto Dodge is pretty much, I actually think it's worse than Dio Senko and Bankai, but it actually can be better in a lot of different cases. But when it comes to, you know, the ability where you can't use any abilities during it besides C-Specs and, you know, dashing and things like that, they actually remove the speed boost off the second half of the ability, and you can take damage during the second half of the ability, which makes it significantly worse than it used to be because you still can't use abilities when you can actually take damage. So it's actually going to probably to the top of B tier because it's significantly worse than it used to be. Sriracha is counter is good at the top of F tier. You could take damage during the counter, which obviously isn't very good, and also is not a very good counter at that. Sengoku counters actually go to the top of D. It actually can be stopped by trees, so if you have trees above you and you use this counter, it pretty much just makes this counter immediately useless, and half the time the meteors don't actually hit correctly. Shindai Kuma's counter is going to the bottom of F. There's no way ever that you would actually use this ability ever as a counter. I don't know why Ro put it on this ability. I'm pretty sure they were trolling, but yes, guys, this ability is actually a counter. Alright guys, forgive me, but I forget which one is the counter and which one's the auto dodge. So I'm going to say that this one's the auto dodge and this one's the counter. So Satori's counter is actually probably going to be put to the bottom of B. It actually is better than the other counters in the game right now besides Renshiki because the counter actually, it does stun for quite a while and does a bit of damage. Now the auto dodge is really bad. The auto dodge is going to the top of F. Overall, the auto dodge summons clones that don't really even do anything. And it's just pretty much just a normal auto dodge that summons clones. So I'll put it to the top of C, but overall this ability is not very good. Smoke's counter is also be going into the C tier. I'm probably going to be putting it below Satori Kuma's auto dodge. Overall, Smoke's counter is very good if you're actually missing something in your element slots, but other than that, I would never use this because the iframes do not last that long overall. I totally did not forget Shindai Rengoku's counter here. Shindai Rengoku's counter is actually going to probably, honestly, I don't think it's S tier anymore. This is definitely probably going to go to the top. No, it's probably worse than these. I'm going to be putting it below the Dio Senko and Bankai auto dodge because I feel like Shindai Ren's counter is actually not very good with the hand sides. But if you could actually land it, obviously it's a very A tier ability because it actually does a ton of damage to people. But overall, Shindai Ren's counter just, it doesn't really match the other ones. But if you don't have anything else to use, go ahead, use it. It is very, very, very good and very busted. Anyways, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like for more. Thanks for guys. Bye-bye.